you beautiful people. My name is David Vieira. I'm joined by Abe and Charlie Medeiros. Welcome to the Redox Cinema Podcast. And for our viewers and listeners, we hope you guys are doing well. And we got a special video for you guys. The 95th Academy Awards are this Sunday.
Nobody's watching.
No one is watching because we love the Academy Awards.
Just messing.
Because The Last of Us.
By the title of this video, you may have guessed what this video is about. But I want Abe to let us know what we're doing here today.
Bet. Okay. And you just put me on the spot. I didn't know I was doing this. But I actually came up with the idea, so it's fine.
That's why.
What we're going to do is we're going to go through, how many is it? Do we know? 8?
5. No, wait. 8.
8.
Yes. Yeah.
8 major categories that we kind of decided on with the Oscars. And we decided instead of just picking who we think's going to win, because I think there are a lot of obvious picks this year, and there are going to be a couple films that are going to sweep a lot of categories. We decided if we are the Academy and we have an Academy vote, who would get our vote? It could be an emotional pick. It could be, bias, whatever it is. This is each one of our picks, and that's fine. It's more fun this way, so we figured we'd do this and just let you know what we pick. And you can put in the comments, let us know what your picks would be for the same categories, if it matches up with ours, or if you think ours are trash, then let us know. But yeah, we're just gonna be writing down on each category what we each think, and we haven't seen each other's picks yet, so we're gonna do 3, 2, 1, flash it to the camera, then see each other's picks, and then we'll have just conversation quickly about each one.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And these are the categories we're going to be putting our vote in. But it is supporting actor, supporting actress, best cinematography, best animated feature, lead actor, lead actress, best director, and the holy grail and the diamonds and the flowers, best picture.
Best picture.
But
flowers, I like that.
Yeah.
That's different.
Diamonds and flowers.
But diamonds and flowers, But before we get into this, Charlie, Abe, how y'all doing?
I'm ready to vote on movies I haven't watched. To be fairly honest.
Why do you gotta expose yourself like that?
I'm being honest. I did not watch
We
a
are
lot
a
of the
cinema
Oscar
channel
picks this
that
year.
does not watch movies.
We do watch them.
No, these guys, they watched everything. I usually do
No.
keep up with the Oscar movies, but this year was a struggle for me to keep up. So
It goes,
yeah.
Davi watches literally everything. I watched like 70%, and then Charlie maybe watched like 3 movies. So that's...
Nah, that's not
I'm
true.
kidding.
I watched them.
Charlie's at like 30, 40%.
I think they appreciate the transparency here.
Yeah, you'll see. You'll see my picks for some of these stuff might be a little bit different than them because they watched everything and I didn't.
And I think it's different too. Like, just on a quick thing, it really depends on each Oscar year, because some years get people more excited for different things.
Yeah.
This year actually got me really excited because of the type of films that were out. But the type of films that were out and really nominated this year might not have appealed to Charlie. So I think that's one interesting thing about the Academy Awards. It might make you want to watch.
So
more,
I will say about my votes, you will probably see me vote for obviously something that I haven't seen, but I'm going based off of like the hype or what people are speculating that will win. So
I'm going off my heart.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah.
For a lot of the thing is we're doing the top categories. So for the most part, I've seen a decent amount of these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it will
that's
be
the good part. But
Oh, yeah, that is a good part. No. All right, no, let's get right into it. Actor in a supporting role.
give me the nominees.
Nominees are Brandon Gleeson, Banshees of Inisherin; Brian Tyree Henry, Causeway; Judd Hirsch, Fablemans; Barry Cogan, Banshees of Inisherin; Ke Huy Quan, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Ooh, this is a tough one for me.
My pick is different than what I think is going to happen.
Really? Oh, no, I think with me it's... Let's just get it.
Excuse any spelling mistakes, by the way.
I mean, they're literally written on the
written for us.
Yeah, but
pull out your phone and look at the categories. Look at the nominees.
shut up.
Silly.
Oh, I spelled it right without even looking, so shut up.
All right.
Wow, impressive.
All right. Do we want to do this at the same time? Or
Yeah, same time.
All right.
Same time.
3, 2, 1.
What do I have? Davi, what do you have?
I have Ki-Hugh Kwan.
Okay.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
We all have different picks.
What do you have?
Oh, that's a solid pick.
Oh, Barry
That's
Keoghan.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I did Judd Hirsch.
Oh,
I'm
the
different.
Fablemans.
I'm different.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Charlie, I want to start with you. Why did you pick Judd Hirsch, the Fablemans?
He was in it for a very short amount of time,
really
but the very short amount of time he was in there, he was extremely impactful for the story.
That performance reminds me of Mahershala Ali in Moonlight.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a fact, actually.
The impact that his character had for just a couple
The
minutes
story.
with the story in itself was huge, and I think Judd Hirsch was very similar to that as well, and
Very true.
to Sammy.
This movie is very much based off of Cinema Paradiso. If you haven't seen it, it's an old movie from the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And Judd Hirsch's character in this very much is basically an interpretation of the character in the original movie who was the cinema owner. So if you ever watch that movie, you'll see the connection there.
It is very
Yeah.
beautiful. Charlie made me watch it, and I forgot to tell him I did bawl my eyes out when I watched it.
I'm dead.
A very beautiful film. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Hey, he has been your favorite actor of 2022. Can you
might-
say that? And he might be your favorite actor now.
He might have to fight Jonathan Majors, but he's up there. Yeah, bro. Barry Keoghan. All of these are good shouts. Judd Hirsch, the only reason I didn't pick him is just because he was in the film for such a short period of time. But it's a great pick. Same with Key. For me, dude, Barry Keoghan's that actor that whenever he's on screen, he steals the show. Like, no matter who you put him up against, he shared the screen with Colin Farrell a million times, and he's a huge actor, and Barry Keoghan steals the show. And it's not like Barry Keoghan at this point is like an unknown quantity. Like, people know him from plenty of things. He was in Eternals. He made a cameo in the newest Batman as the Joker.
The Killing of a Sacred Deer, he's in that.
Yes, he's in that. So he's been all over the shop, right? Like, he's been doing a whole lot of stuff. But I just think his performance as Dominic in The Banshees of Inisherin was very, like, amusing, entertaining, and, like, terrifyingly sad at the exact same time. And it's all because of his performance. So I just have to give him his flowers. I don't think he's going to get it at the Oscars, but I want to give him his flowers.
Yeah, no. Key, man. I think the impact he had, I think with Everything Ever All at Once, each character in that movie had an insane impact. And for Key, he was one of them that, man, every single time he was on screen on certain scenes, the brother just shined, man.
Yeah.
And you just see the love he had just making this movie. And the last chance he got was this, right?
Yeah.
He was completely sidelined and never got an opportunity. And to see him come back and give a stellar performance that is Everything Ever All at Once, right? It's everything to him. And I'm so excited because I think we all know he's going to win.
Yeah.
And I'm just so excited to celebrate him and the opportunity that you get, even when you don't think that, your career might be over.
Yeah, this is an Oscar year for, like, comeback stories, which
Yes,
is dope.
100%.
Like, him and Brendan Fraser, just like that just made me feel good. And honestly, Key would be my second choice, and I'm super happy to probably see him get it. I book it right now. He's gonna get this award, and he definitely deserves it. So.
And one thing for me, y'all, I practice reading names, and then when it comes to me saying them out loud publicly, I butcher them. And I am so sorry if I butchered some names. I probably did, but yeah, that's just me. I struggle. My fault, y'all.
It happens.
But with the next category, Abe, give us the nominees for supporting actress.
All right. Actress in a supporting role. Here are the nominees: Angela Bassett, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever; Hong Chow, The Whale; Carrie Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin; Jamie Lee Curtis, Everything Everywhere All at Once; and Stephanie Su, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
My pick is locked in.
My pick is locked into.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right.
Definitely sentimental. Definitely.
Yeah. By the way, I learned today that you can actually bet on the Oscars, which is wild.
Yeah. Well, because we're in Massachusetts, and today's the first day that they
introduced like
introduced
online
it
betting.
Online, yeah.
And yeah, the Academy Awards are on there, which is very interesting.
They are. But you guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
I cheated. I put 2.
What? How is that even possible?
What happened?
I couldn't decide.
Okay.
Oh,
you gotta
Charlie,
choose
we
now.
got the same one.
Yeah,
I
we
got
got the same
Stephanie.
one.
I got Stephanie Sue.
I have
Sue?
Stephanie Sue on there with Carrie Condon as
Okay,
the second.
Carrie
Oh,
Condon. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Okay, so with Carrie, I was also split. But with Stephanie, I think we have to give her dang flowers.
No, 100%.
Because her performance has been so overlooked, I think, by the media in general. And people are not realizing that if she doesn't have a strong performance in this film is done.
This film falls apart.
It falls
without her.
apart
Yeah.
without her.
Mhm.
She is the antagonist, but also the protagonist as well.
Yeah.
She is everything.
She's what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she only won one major award.
Really?
This entire one or two.
Wow.
I don't know. I just feel like she didn't get the credit that she deserves in this film. And obviously I want to highlight that because she was absolutely brilliant. She's in the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as well, and she's insane in that
Yes,
series.
she is. And is she not in Poker Face?
She
now?
is in Poker Face, episode 9.
Yep. So she it's crazy. She really impressed me in that film and Everything Everywhere because I don't think I had seen her in anything prior to that. And maybe I have, but I just never noticed. But exactly what you said. She plays the protagonist, the antagonist, and she switches between mood and like demeanor like very effortlessly in the two kind of roles that she's playing. And it's sick. Like it was very impressive.
Yeah,
So she needs her flowers for sure.
She does. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Maybe Diamonds as well, but I'm going to be saying give them their flowers.
Yeah.
But Charlie, what about you? What you want to...
I
Shout
agree
out.
with everything you guys said. I was just kind of surprised that she wasn't in the leading, but I can understand why, because they want to give it to Michelle Yeoh instead. Because I feel like they're both leads in that
Yeah.
movie.
I think
Mhm.
Michelle's
Right.
definitely like the lead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but Stephanie also. She's
Yeah.
like very involved in the movie. I don't know.
I
I feel like they both could have been leads, but obviously split it up, make it so that each one could win an award.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was great. She was
All I want to
fantastic.
say is that Angela Bassett did the thing. So
she's really, bro. This was a
She
tough
did the thing.
category.
Yeah, no,
'cause
she-
Angela Bassett.
Oh,
is
I think they're
fire.
gonna give it
Yeah.
to Angela Bassett.
no, I
you
think
think
Angela
so?
Bassett.
Yeah, I'm.
Yo,
voting
it's
for
a
Stephanie
toss up now because of I think because of SAG. Jamie Lee Curtis won the SAG
Really?
or something like that. I'm gonna be
no
real.
hate-
I'm
no hate
no
on Jamie Lee
hate, no
Curtis.
hate to her, but I am not understanding.
If someone is
The
gonna
hype.
win, if she's up against Stephanie in this category, it makes no sense to give it to Jamie Lee. I'm so sorry. Like, it's
Dude, Jamie
her
Lee is
role-
like basically a cameo in this movie, not like a.
Stephanie's role in this. Yeah, obviously you don't want to.
It's all about performance too. But before we move on to the next one, I want to shout out Carrie Condon because she was
Yes.
my split decision.
Mhm.
Banshees of Inisherin. To me, it's Barry Keoghan steals, and then when it's not him, it's Carrie Condon. And the way that she plays off each character and has like instant chemistry with every single person on screen is actually wild. She acts like she has like known these people all her life,
Yeah.
and I don't know if she has because maybe she has because they're all Irish.
Yeah.
But her performance was insane. The story that she carries in the movie as well is super underrated. Like the story of the sister and her getting off the island and exploring something new,
Finding herself and wanting to
finding herself.
explore. And,
Yeah, I wanted to just shout her out because I thought her performance was incredible.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Solid.
wow. All right, for the next category, Charlie, give us
Moving
the
on.
nominees for best cinematography.
Oh, what my pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to introduce the nominees for Best Cinematography.
Is this your audition to be a presenter?
Yes. I'm just kidding. Here are your nominees. All Quiet on the Western Front, James Friend, I want to say is pronounced. Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Darius Khondji. Elvis, Mandy Walker. Empire of Light, Roger Deakins. Tar, Florian Hofmeister.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you guys had the same one, right?
Yeah, All Quiet on the Western Front, James Friend. Yes.
Yeah, I have Elvis
Um,
because it's the only one in this
think-
category that I watched.
It's probably gonna win.
Okay, I watched like half
it
of
is
Tar.
probably so. Charlie, before we get into Charlie, Elvis will probably most likely win because it did win the Guild for cinematography.
Mhm.
So definitely see Elvis winning, and I think it'd be the first woman to ever win.
Oh,
So
really?
I think. Don't quote me on it. I think it is. But
Fire.
That's
She
wired.
but Charlie, what did you think about Elvis cinematography? Give us a quick.
So we had this discussion a little while ago because Elvis won cinematography in these other award shows, and Davi was like, "Why the heck would this win over some of these other movies?" Right? And I agree, but to a certain point, like I feel like Elvis did something a little bit different than you see on the everyday. I also think that it should be. Does it compete in editing? I don't even know, but it definitely should because it's wild.
Yeah.
The editing is wild too.
It's definitely an editing.
But there's so many like camera pans and whooshes and transitions and whatever. Like, I just feel like it was very well shot, and it was different. That's basically it. That's basically it.
I will just say that I think the issue with me for this is that the movie suffers for a lack of good direction, in my opinion. And if it was better directed, I think the cinematography would shine more. But I think the cinematography is very impressive in this film. And a lot of the technical elements were, but it was hard for me to ignore with the direction.
Yeah, Abe's not a fan.
For me, what
Me
kept
and
me...
Baz Luhrmann have to throw hands.
Yeah, what kept me in the movie was the technical elements, was the cinematography.
Yeah.
That's what kept me.
And Austin Butler.
That's interesting.
Austin Butler as well. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But with All Quiet on the Western Front, what has me putting it as the winner, man, it's the lighting. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. The lighting in a war film like that is something, honestly, I have never seen. And it's just, there are some moments where I'm like, how are they lighting this? Is this natural light? What are they doing? It was me questioning every single frame. I'm like, how are they getting this done?
In the age of Marvel movies where we can barely see like anything on screen.
No, there was like moments where it's a dark frame, but you see everything perfectly. I'm like, how do you do this?
It's never natural.
Mhm.
Just saying.
Yeah, no,
But it's never fully natural light, I should say.
Mhm.
They always rig up like crazy, huge.
Oh, yeah, they have
super
some that
diffused
come all,
lights.
like,
yeah,
50
Yeah.
feet up in the air.
even if it's super bright out. But yeah,
There's just some
I've seen some frames, and I was
It's
like,
it's incredible. Yeah, the lighting it's beautiful.
it's like 1917-ish vibes, right? With the lighting, because like I was looking through this list and I was like, damn, how do I vote against Roger Deakins, bro? And he shot
He
1917.
did shoot 1917.
So, but
I
yeah,
think Roger
don't-
Deakins, the reason why he is nominated is because it's Roger
It's
Deakins.
Roger Deakins. You're not gonna, you're not gonna put the man to the
That's
side.
that's
He's
a
shot.
king, man. That's a goat. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like if Hans Zimmer had a score and wasn't nominated.
interesting. He
Exactly.
was not nominated.
That's facts.
Or
Actually.
was he? Or was he not? I don't think he was nominated.
I don't remember.
But
I just said that's facts, and I actually have no idea. So please don't listen to
well,
me.
he
fake
didn't win for
news.
Interstellar. I'll tell you that. So with Roger Deakins, I think what makes him not, in contention for the award is that the movie was not good.
But it's crazy because put that same logic towards Elvis.
But here's the thing: Elvis is split.
Elvis is split.
Elvis is split because Austin Butler,
The performance,
acting,
yeah.
the editing, everything.
Yeah. There's a lot more elements
Mhm.
probably to Elvis than Empire of Light that are
Yeah.
positive. I'll say my thing on All Quiet on the Western Front just really quick. I just like the thing that was crazy about this movie for me was the emotion that they were able to capture, and I think the way that they framed a lot of these shots was like perfect and added to that. It was the actors, but also just the framing and the shots that they chose to go with is what really captured like the raw emotion and
Some
like,
of the
brutality of it.
close-ups is just
Crazy.
insane.
So that's my little take on that.
All right. For our next category, Abe, give us the nominees for Best Animated Feature.
And the nominees for Best Animated Feature Film are Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro, Mark Gustafson, Gary Unger, and Alex Buckley. There's a lot of names here, so I might not read all of them.
Yeah, you can just...
Next, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. Those are the nominees.
I think we all know what we're voting for.
I think we're all voting the same thing.
We're all voting for the same one.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I spell it right.
I got you.
3, 2, 1.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
I want to say this before we get into the reasons why
There's
we
some
have it.
really good nominees.
I'm
here.
not gonna lie. In the history that I've been following films, I think this is the strongest animated nominees I have ever seen.
Yeah.
For me personally, I don't know if there's another year that if past years, of Oscars, and you think, maybe it's not, but I truly think that this is the strongest animated
At least in recent history.
recent history. Yeah, no, it's
usually a Disney blowout, so it's nice to see.
like
Like
look at this. We got Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with the Shoes On, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Those three already there, like,
Those are the big three.
and then Turning Red, which is a great one. It's just
Yeah.
like, bro,
Yeah. I think honestly, the Sea Beast is like I honestly don't know too much about it, and I'm not here to hate on it, but it's kind of an outlier in the sense that like all the other 4 films had like their day in the sun and like their 15 minutes of fame, so to speak, but like all of them had big receptions for it. Marcel the Shell, like people were raving about that movie. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list.
beautiful.
Pinocchio or Puss in Boots, I'll say first, like that one was crazy. Like adults were going to see it, kids. Like the Shrek universe hasn't had a good film probably since Shrek 2, so that's fire.
Mm-hmm.
And then this Pinocchio movie, bro, I've never connected to a Pinocchio story. I'll tell you right now, never cared about Pinocchio. Never really like mattered to me. Somehow, well, not somehow. When I saw Guillermo del Toro was directing it and it was a stop motion film, I was like, yeah, this movie's gonna
The
hit.
man was in his bag.
Yeah,
He was. What they did with this movie and the story, like you said, it pushed the PG rating to the max.
To the max.
But the impact was crazy. And Charlie, you rated Guillermo del Toro's as your favorite, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio as your favorite movie last year.
Oh wow, yeah, I forgot about that.
did.
How has the impact been so far? With this film, why do you connect with it so much?
I just think that being able to take such a famous story and then elevate it and change it, basically, the essence of the story is the same, but the visuals, the portrayal, everything is different.
Yeah,
Completely different. And when you're able to pull that off, I think it's extremely impressive. And then with the Guillermo del Toro, like little flair on it, little touch, amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll say this too, like not only just a well-known story, but a story that's been adapted time and time again. We literally got 2 adaptations of Pinocchio this year. One was hot garbage, and then one was really good, thankfully. But like that's the thing, right? Like we see adaptations all the time, and sometimes we get annoyed at being like, "Oh my God, they're doing another one of these." But like this is one that when we saw Guillermo del Toro's name attached, you just knew he was going to bring a different element to it, and just the story about father-son, the backdrop of like fascism in Europe was insane, and like the dialogue on war and life and death and all that stuff was like not what I expected in the Pinocchio movie. So the fact that we got all of that and it still stayed true to the essence of like what Pinocchio is was fire. So
no, yeah, you're right. I saw this late at night and I finished the movie, and I've become a person who cries at a lot of movies now.
he cries at every movie. That's the test. If the movie's good, he's gonna cry.
If the movie's good, I will cry. And it was beautiful. It truly was beautiful. And like Guillermo del Toro says, and many filmmakers say, the genre of animation is not just for kids. It's for everyone. And I believe that Pinocchio should have gotten a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah,
Not just animation.
I agree.
I agree as well.
And I think hopefully in the next coming years, people will take animation a lot more serious because the impact it's done not only on people but filmmakers is crazy. I mean, just look at Michael B. Jordan, with Creed 3. He took inspiration right out of Naruto. You know what I mean? Like,
and we have some of the best directors doing animation. You got Guillermo del Toro, you got Wes Anderson. Like there are serious directors
pouring
their heart into animation films. So they should be taken seriously.
Yeah.
If they have the qualities of a Best Picture, then why not get the nomination?
100%. And for our next category, actor in a leading role.
I'm very.
Here
curious
are
about
the
this.
nominees: Austin Butler, Elvis; Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin; Brendan Fraser, The Whale; Paul Mescal, Aftersun; Bill Nye, Living.
I think on a given day, like my answer to this will change.
Oh yeah, this is a strong strong list.
Yeah.
Strong list of nominees. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
We're all different.
Oh my
You've
gosh.
got Paul Mescal. He's got Who do you have? Brendan Fraser and Austin Butler for me.
Yeah.
We're all
Wow,
different.
I did not think you would go Paul Mescal.
I made that switch today, and the reason why is I've never seen male vulnerability be portrayed so raw, the way that they did with After Sun. Obviously I've seen a lot of different films that deal with that topic, but Paul Mescal's performance really touched me. It really, really touched me. And just to see a man just struggle, just to having that struggle, just to communicate with his daughter, like, yo, I'm struggling, but he couldn't because she was so young. And it's just like his performance in that, it was beautiful. And it wasn't like he was speaking a lot. It was all done with the way he walked, the way he, just the way he moved. You can just tell, what he was going through and the struggles that he went through. And, that final scene is just, it's heartbreaking.
And the best scene in
And the
cinema,
best
probably
scene.
the last
Yeah,
10 years,
it's
so.
just my favorite scene of 2022 is an After Sun. And the chemistry that he had with Frankie was incredible. And I don't know, Paul is on to do amazing things. He's going to have an insane career, and I'm just so happy for him. And I just wanted to highlight his performance, and I really think everyone should see this movie. But as I said before, After Sun is a movie not for everyone, but I think a movie that everyone should see, because it addresses things that we just don't want to talk about. And it's such a great movie. One thing I recommend is just watch it and just sit. Just watch it. Don't try to be like, no, just sit down and watch it. And I think
get through like the first half.
Get through it. Just get through it, and I think you will be impacted by it. It is a beautiful story, and Paul, man, I am so excited for you. I am so excited. But yeah, that's why I have him. It's just that his performance just impacted me on so many levels. And I don't know, male vulnerability is not something that's talked about a lot, and we don't see that a lot in Hollywood, and really focusing on that. And yeah, that's why I picked him.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I also loved that movie. It's this is a stacked category too. For me, it's Brendan Fraser, and what a comeback story, right? Like, he hasn't really done much since like The Mummy and like a couple of things like here and there, but he pulled out a performance, dude. And I know that there are a lot of people who are very not the most happy with this film, and that's fine. Like, that's people's own, people are entitled to their opinion, but this movie struck a personal chord with me, and I think Brendan Fraser's performance was like super, super raw and just like full of emotion, and you could tell like he was pulling from a place that was personal, whether or not it was directly related to the character's struggles of being morbidly obese and just like health declining to the point of like danger of dying and all of that. Like, I don't know what it is that Brendan Fraser pulled from, but he pulled from something real in the performances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was just one thing that was like completely captivating to me, and I haven't been able to forget about that performance, and I think about that movie like all the time. Mm-hmm. So that was the one that I had to pick, but both of your picks I could mm-hmm. go with and be happy with too.
Yeah, for me with Paul, man, that scene where he's in the bedroom and he's just crying, it's something that I feel like we could all relate to. There's sometimes where you just sit down and you just start bawling your eyes out by yourself.
Yeah,
because it's just.
I will say that I think Paul's performance is accentuated by the direction. Like, the direction makes his performance like 10 times
Charlotte
better.
Wells is,
because the little nuances and the subtleties in that movie are what make it. And the crying film that you're referencing, it's not like a whole ordeal. No. It's like a 10-second shot of mm-hmm. him, just his back, him crying, and then there's another 10-second shot where he's like just walking into the deep ocean, and it's like he's completely emotionless. Mm-hmm. But it's the direction that really, really made mm-hmm. it. And not to take away from Paul's performance, but I just think that movie had a lot of things working in its favor. But
yeah.
Charlie. Let's talk about the man of the hour,
Mr. Butler.
Mr. Nickelodeon.
Facts. Zoe
Okay,
101.
I did not remember him
Nancy
from Zoe
Classified.
101 or Nancy Classified.
Yeah.
I did not remember him from any of those. So for me, this was like the first time ever seeing him do anything. And I just thought it was very impressive that the first role is a huge like icon. Is Elvis, obviously, and he just killed it. He did a great job with the role. Say what you want about the movie, I don't think you can knock this man's performance.
No, we cannot.
He
cannot.
gave
No.
110% towards it, and he embodied Elvis like very, very well. There were a lot of complaints that people had, like, "Oh, he doesn't look anything like Elvis," blah blah blah, whatever. Sure. Did he sound like him? Yeah.
Yes.
In the movie, he looked
Did
just
he
like
looked
him.
like Elvis.
He
I
looked
think
like
he
Elvis.
did.
Yeah, I think he looked like Elvis when it was like the older Elvis.
Mhm.
He looked a lot like Elvis with the sideburns and all that stuff. But dude, oh my god, the guy had to learn like every single performance, all the mannerisms, everything, and he like nailed every single one. You watch like side by side shots on YouTube of like his 1960s special or whatever, or other shows, though, like the ones that he did in the hotel. It's the same thing. He does the same exact thing. It's the same performance. So I'm sure that that took, a toll on him as well.
Yeah.
Having to portray Elvis's character, someone who's so loved and so respected, and is like one of the most famous performers of all time. There's a lot of weight that comes with that.
100%.
And also being your first like major movie role. So I feel like, yeah, he probably had a lot of weight on his shoulders. He felt a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure, and he still delivered under all that pressure. He didn't crumble. So I respect that, commend that very much so, and I think the man deserves the award. I really do.
I think something that's so interesting about Austin Butler and his performance is that at the end of the day, like these performances that we're talking about, specifically Austin Butler and Brendan Fraser, they will never be the same after that. You know,
No.
they will never be the same. And that's really hard because it's like, what comes next? What is next? Do you continue or do you just say, I'm good? But what we're seeing with Austin Butler, that he is gonna, he has a big role coming up on Dune. He's already signing on to other projects, but it's like, what?
You got to follow it up.
Yeah, it takes a huge mental, physical toll on you, and I'm pretty sure it did on Austin Butler. So then the next
So much so
question,
his voice did.
yeah.
Say.
So it's like the next question is, what is next? Like how do you come back after that? Because how do you top it? Not even how you top it. It's like, how do you come back after that? Because again, you're not the same person. You're not the same actor.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. The way what comes after this is they won't get lead roles for a little while to let people, let it simmer, let it chill out for a little bit, so that then something big comes along, they give them lead roles again, so that it could be impactful again to the audiences. Because if you give them something big right now after you just saw the man be Elvis for almost 3 hours, then it's kind of like
It's just Elvis in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I just saw this is Elvis in a different movie.
Yeah.
But they're both continuing on to be supporting characters in very big films. Like you said, Austin Butler is going to be in Dune. Brendan Fraser is in Killers of the Flower Moon, which is Martin Scorsese's new movie.
I'm
So,
so
like,
excited for that.
They're doing big things.
Yeah.
Continue to do big things. I did want to vote for Brendan Fraser, but I didn't see the movie. I didn't see The Whale yet. But I'm a big fan of his from way back in the day. The Looney Tunes movie.
The comeback
Looney Tunes
is
back in
amazing.
action and all that.
And
Yeah.
if he
he's
wins,
great.
the reception is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser wins, honestly, I still think it's a toss up. I think it's between
Really?
Austin Butler or Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, it's either one of the two.
It's either one of the two. I don't know who it's going to go.
I
with.
can see it going to Brendan Fraser.
I think it's gonna go
I think
Austin
the
Butler.
Academy
I
will
think
choose Brendan
now
Fraser.
because they're Brendan Fraser won the SAG.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
maybe Brendan Fraser gets it.
but
I really hope he gets
Butler
it.
has the Globe and the BAFTA.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
But here's the thing. So I got to see Brendan Fraser at in Boston at the Fan Expo a couple years back, and he was by far the largest panel, like audience wise, that was in attendance there, and it's because people still have a lot of love for him. A lot of people, like myself, grew up watching more like family movies that he was in. So stuff like George of the Jungle, The Mummy, Looney Tunes Back in Action, whatever. So there's a lot of love, and I
Mhm.
feel like people in the academy are also like still feeling that love, and they're very happy to see him come back in such a strong way that they're just gonna have to choose him. They have no choice.
Guess we'll see.
This is my
see,
thought.
we'll see on Sunday. We'll see on Sunday.
We will see on Sunday.
Charlie, can you read us the nominees for Best Director?
Best director, you got it.
You just skipped
Oh, did
actress.
I skip you? I skipped actress.
You skipped actress.
Oh, Best Lead Actress.
Yep.
Can you read that?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. Best Lead Actress. Sorry about that.
Are you good? Let me get it up here. All right. The nominees for actress in a leading role are Kate Blanchett, Tar, Ana de Armas, Blonde, Andrea Riseborough, To Leslie, Michelle Williams, The Fablemans, Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
No, who
I
you-
know who's winning it.
I think we all have an idea.
We
on
all
who's
know who's
winning
gonna
it.
win it. 3, 2,
Two.
1. Whoa, Michelle Yeoh for both of them, and I got Ana de
No,
Armas.
No,
I have
Michelle
Michelle
Williams.
Williams.
Oh,
I'm
Williams,
Michelle
Williams.
Wow,
Sorry.
Williams.
I just saw Michelle on yours, and I
Williams.
I'm Michelle Williams.
Michelle
Very nice.
Yeoh. Yeah.
All great choices.
You have Ana de Armas.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So, Blonde was a very controversial film of probably the most controversial film of 2022.
Yes.
But we can't underlook that Ana de Armas did have an insane performance. I personally couldn't get through the film. It was too hard for me to watch. But
Same.
I know Charlie, you watched it, and I just want to know your thoughts on her performance.
Well, I have seen all of the performances on this in this category. I think.
To Leslie,
Maybe
did you
you're-
see To Leslie?
I did not.
I didn't see too much.
So-
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother
Yeah.
That's
So
dumb thing. That,
So
talk about later.
yeah, so I've seen. That's the only one I didn't see. I saw all the other ones. Out of all of them, I honestly do think Ana de Armas is the strongest contender in this list. I think her performance is the strongest one in the list. She will not win because of the movie being so controversial, but I'm still glad that they nominated her because she put her heart and her soul into that role, and she delivered. She did a fantastic job.
Of the 40 minutes that I watched of that movie, I could tell that she was
No, yeah,
committed.
yeah,
Like,
no, she was very committed. Yeah,
and she, for me, is what kept me wanting to watch the film. Obviously, I did stop, but she is the reason for me that I was like intrigued and wanted to dive deeper. But yeah, you can't take away from her like performance. It's just
yeah. No,
good
you
stuff.
can't.
She's great.
And with Michelle Williams,
Yeah,
that is a very interesting
Left
pick.
field,
I was
right?
not expecting that pick.
So okay, so I think we talked about before with Michelle Williams that people didn't think that she should be in
No.
a leading actress
Should not.
category.
I personally don't think so.
I disagree with that fact.
Re-
And the reason why I'll say is, and she is not the lead in this movie, and I think that's part of the thing, right? People are like, she's not the lead, but dude, she is like 1,000% central to the story of the Fablemans. Like
Yeah.
1,000%.
Oh, yeah.
And when she is on screen, she steals the show every single time. There's not a single actor in that film that stole the show from her when she was on screen. And so like everything about her performance for me just made the movie like 10 times better. The way that she connects with Sammy is the
Yes.
character's name. And, you know, she is the dreamer, right? And he connects with that. And his dad is like the pragmatic, like simple solutions, numbers guy. Her mom's the dreamer, the dancer, the singer, the piano player, all this stuff. And like Sammy is able to connect with that, but you also find the flaws in her character. And it like, she just killed that performance to the sense where like, even though she's not the lead in the film, when she's on screen, you can forget about everybody else because she's leading.
yeah,
So that's why Michelle Williams is my pick.
that's why I have her supporting. What you said for me, it's like that's supporting right there
It's fair.
because she carries the weight.
If she's carrying the weight of the movie, though, she should be a lead.
no, not carrying the weight. She's carrying the weight of when it's needed, right?
Mm.
I think Sammy is the lead. Sammy is at the top, and then you have the mother and father, which is Paul Dano and Michelle Williams. And that's why I think I have it in a pyramid where I put Sammy at the top because the story is focused on Sammy.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it wasn't a right move for them to market her as a lead actor.
I have a theory.
I do think, just on one thing on that, if you take out Sammy and had to pick a lead, it would be Michelle Williams
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah, in this movie, yeah.
I do have a
So-
theory on that as to why she falls into that, because she technically, like you were saying, is not a lead role in this movie, right? Technically, when you're speaking, you look at it and you're like, no, she's playing the part of a supporting character.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I think that they put her there in supporting and could not put her, that put her in lead and didn't put her in supporting, is because I think it makes it a better case for the Best Picture nomination as well. That's my theory for it.
Okay.
It's fair.
If you have somebody in your movie that is in one of the either actor or actress, but Paul Dano's not in the actor one, so you
Yeah,
can
he
toss
didn't
him.
get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The kid who plays Sammy's not there, toss that. So what
Probably
other
just because he was
what other
young.
major categories are you in that involves actor or writing or whatever that can be a contender for Best Picture? That gives a good,
And let me just, I'm sorry I'll keep going on this, but one thing with Michelle Williams, everything that happens in the story is because of her. Sammy gets his camera because of her.
Right.
He gets the train and all of that, and she's has the idea to capture the images of that.
Yeah.
They all go camping, they have all this fun. She wants him to record what's happening. He does. She has the affair with the husband. That
the
splits the
support.
family.
Yeah, that's the support.
Bro, she's carrying the whole narrative. She is carrying the whole narrative.
I think
If you think about it, the narrative all surrounds her character. She's the one driving the entire story, and I get it. At face value, she's a supporting character, but when you dig deeper into her role, she drives the entire narrative and she carries the story.
yeah, she does. It's like it's a very much a movie about a boy and his relationship with his mother
Yes,
and how important your mother is in your life if you're lucky enough to have your mother in your life for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So she very much did embody that.
Yeah.
I would say from watching the movie. So I can see where your argument's coming from. 100%. I still think she's there because it makes a better case for Best Picture.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing that.
We'll see.
Not saying that she didn't. She did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
Phenomenal
she
job.
did,
But I
she
really
did,
do
she
think
really
they
did.
put her in lead for that
I
reason.
remember seeing it with my parents, and Gabe was my brother. And Gabe was like, they did not like her character, but they said that she obviously the character, but they loved
played
Michelle
it
Williams'
well, yeah.
performance, but they did not like the character, which is interesting. But I was like, yo, everyone has flaws, and I'm glad that in a movie like that they showcased the significance of the mother in Sammy's life, but also that we're all deeply flawed.
And enough about Michelle Williams. You picked Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh that's the queen, man.
Yeah,
Like I
she's
think, again, it's the whole thing with Stephanie is that if they're not in chemistry in this movie, then everything everywhere all at once is done. It's done for.
Yeah, it falls apart.
And if it literally falls apart, and I don't know what else to add. It's just that like everything else that this movie was because of Michelle and Stephanie, and it's just beautiful, and Kay as well. It's just, again, everyone just and everyone just worked. It just works to have her as a lead, and I think she will win, and I think it's going to be a monumental win this come Sunday. But what about I think a major one that people are wanting, a popular vote, is Cate Blanchett in Tar.
Yeah.
And that again is an insane.
It's a great performance.
It's a great performance.
A great performance.
A great performance.
Yeah. We saw Tar.
We did.
I think we had a similar reaction to the film.
We did.
In the sense of like you left it not kind of confused if you got what it was trying to give you, and not necessarily knowing what the full depth and point of the story is. But I think it's to be interpreted. Regardless of that, can't take away from Cate Blanchett. Like her entire performance is like nuts. Like I hated her.
No, yeah.
I hated her, and she did that perfectly to a T. Like
Mhm.
she made you despise her character in such a way, but then also create a level of empathy that you didn't think you could have for the same character that you hated.
Right.
So I think for that, if she wins, cool.
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh wins, great. Michelle Williams is not going to win, but I think those two are probably the strongest contenders.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. But Charlie, give us the nominees for Best Director.
The nominees are Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness.
3, 2, 1.
What do we have? Oh, Davi, how dare you?
Davi wrote
Steven
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg.
I have Steven Spielberg.
I wrote
We have-
Daniel plus Daniel equals fire
I wrote the Daniels.
I have
Daniels is the third
okay.
for everything.
Okay, it is split. I should have put both. I on my notes I have
No,
both
no,
of them.
I'm kidding.
Um
No shame. You're
but
good. Steven Spielberg is good.
the yo, there's a specific scene in The Fabelmans that I'm like, this man is in his bag right now. And it was a scene where they're seeing Sammy's film. Paul Dano's character, Michelle Williams, Sammy showing the movie, and
His sisters are, or
his
no,
sister
Seth Rogen's there. No?
Seth Rogen is, so Michelle Williams is in the middle, and Paul Dano is to the right of her, and what's his name? Oh my god,
Sammy,
not Sammy. Her
Paul Dano.
mistress. Her mistress. Oh my god, you said his name.
or Mister.
Her mistress.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah, Seth Rogen. Sorry, mistress.
So Seth Rogen's on one side,
Yeah.
Paul Dano's on the other.
So it first starts when they're watching the movie. There's just, it frames Paul Dano and Michelle Williams together, right? And then has both of them. And then when they start clapping, camera pans to just show Seth Rogen and Michelle Williams together, right? And Paul Dano tries to talk to Michelle Williams and being like, yo, that was so good. But she quickly just turns to Seth Rogen's character and it's like, that was beautiful. And bro, just that pan right there and that impact right there, just to know that, yeah, man, their relationship is done.
yeah,
Their relationship is done. Just that pan, that direction should move, that was done impeccable. It's such
and
a
to sit them
it's
that
such
way.
a yeah it's such a it's sit them that way. It's such a simple direction, but a very effective and impactful way to present that. Yo, this dynamic is very toxic, and it's very it's heartbreaking to see it, visually.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I think I have them, because I connect with that scene a lot. It was just a scene that I was like, wow. Like, that doesn't get it better than this, I know it's very simple, but it works for, the character development of everyone. So that's why I picked Spielberg.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Honestly, I had a hard time with this one because I could make cases for every single one or most of these movies, at least 3 of them. I could definitely make cases for, and I was like trying to be like, oh, but I could pick, I wanted to pick Martin McDonagh for Banshees, but you cannot just like not admire the level of like scope and ambition that it takes to direct or to even like
Yeah.
imagine a movie like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then to pull it off is like next level.
Yeah.
So like to me, it was just that was the thing that came back to my mind. I was like, oh, but Banshees, and then I'm like, bro, but you can't compare.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like you cannot compare in my mind, and I'm like, it just has to be this. And this is the one that for me is going to get picked. I think this.
No,
will be picked.
that will win.
This
That
will
will
win.
win. That will win.
And although I probably have more like personal picks with the other films, like this one I couldn't ignore. Like this one, I'm like, it just flat out has to get Best Direction based on sheer ambition, scope, and pulling all of that off. In the fact that they blended genres and pulled like amazing performances, and were able to still convey a very clear story and message through that. There's messiness all over this movie. This movie puts you in a million different directions, yet somehow from beginning to end, you know exactly the message they're trying to show you. And that's why this movie deserves Best Direction.
Oh yeah, and it is going to win.
It's gonna get
it is definitely going to win.
That's
Charlie,
good.
what did you love about the direction and Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I just love that these two guys were able to pitch this to a studio and they greenlight it.
Straight up.
I don't understand how you come with this concept to someone and they give you almost 15 million to make the movie. Like I would turn you away.
They went, picture this, hot dog fingers. And they're like, yeah, that's it.
Yo,
Go ahead.
it's so interesting because I had
Everything bagel.
two close cousins. We have a group chat and they were talking about the hot dog fingers. That's the first thing they talked about the movie. And it's like, yo, but those scenes, they want you to remember that.
Yeah.
They want you because there's an impact in those scenes. So it's those little things. It's like it's not just the hot dog fingers. There's a significance into why they want you to really think about those, recollect the hot dog fingers.
You know what scene for me sticks out? The rock scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bro, I don't think I've seen a scene that like captures like existentialism and like knowing that you exist in like this really massive world better than that really silly simple scene. But like it just like the fact that the silliness of this movie just hit you for whatever reason, the way that they wanted it to work, it's super impressive.
Yeah,
it's
it's
something
going
that
to be
Hollywood's
celebrated.
been missing is like
Yeah.
new ideas.
Yep.
Just new ideas. That's it. This movie was like a breath of fresh air
Yeah.
when it comes to new ideas and just not making a sequel of something or a
1000%.
prequel
Yep.
or a requel or whatever the heck equal. So yeah, they killed it. They deserve it.
Yeah,
I think
no.
they will win it.
They will win it 100%.
Crazy, insane. I don't know how they pulled that off with such a low budget. I really don't.
And it's crazy because they pulled it off during the pandemic too, because they were editing during the pandemic and they were shooting scenes during the pandemic as well. I think there was a moment where they had to direct Michelle Yeoh through a Zoom call or something like that. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
And they were also editing through a Zoom call as well. It was awesome. And they edited on Premiere, Charlie, which is crazy
Of
because
course,
Premiere always
of course.
falls apart on us.
Always. As soon as I put this video into Premiere, it's gonna crash.
But all right, Abe, give us the nominees for Best Picture.
And the nominees for Best Picture are
10.
Has a lot. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking, which did not get a lot of other nominations for stuff, but that movie is flying under the radar. Movie
Yeah,
was really
it was
good.
great. It was
Really
great.
good. Pick something other than my pick. I dare you. I absolutely dare you.
No,
Pick something
I
else.
think we're not gonna pick something different.
Pick something other than my pick, Charlie.
Yeah, okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3,
3, 2, 1. Yay! They have Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I have Top Gun Maverick.
What the?
I do. I have Top Gun Maverick.
Get out of here, bro.
Tomato, trash.
After saying all that stuff about the Daniels, I just
Straight up.
turn on them. No, I picked Top Gun because I think across the board, everybody liked this movie. Like, it's a movie that got people would sit their butts back into theaters, and overall, everyone loved it. And I feel like that's really hard to get these days. It's really hard to make a movie that basically the entire audience that sees it is going to love. This was, I think, one of the only ones this year, and it's a beautiful thing to see that. And the movie was out for probably 10 months running.
Bro, I was
something.
in theaters this week and they were still
Yeah, they're
playing
still showing
it.
it. Yeah.
They were still playing it. I
But
was
they're
like,
playing a lot of Oscar
yeah,
stuff.
they're
right
playing
now.
right now. I know, but it's just beautiful to see and crazy to see.
Yeah, I love the impact that it had. I love the direction that they went with this movie, with the whole shooting inside of F-16 cockpits with IMAX cameras, all that.
It's crazy.
Tom Cruise being an absolute freaking daredevil. I love all of it, and I think the movie deserves it because you don't see movies like this winning. And same goes for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I also think it deserves to win. But for me, it's Top Gun just because across the board, it's a fan favorite, and fan favorites don't tend to win Oscars.
Facts. Now, that's a great pick. Let me tell you why you're
I
wrong.
think Everything Everywhere All at Once is also a fan favorite as well.
It is
I
not.
agree.
It is not.
It's
unfortunately.
not a fan favorite?
No, across the board, you think
no, no.
everybody
Oh,
likes
okay,
no.
okay.
So here-
Everybody.
here's
It's
the
mixed.
difference.
It's mixed.
Here's
Trust
the
me.
difference
It's
between
mixed.
these two films. This is a formula. This has been done before. This kind of film,
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
and it's some of the technical elements. Apart from some of the technical elements and stunts and things like that, this is not a groundbreaking film. This movie is a groundbreaking film. Everything Everywhere All at Once, it
Yeah.
broke bounds of cinema while also being an accessible movie that a lot of people will watch and enjoy.
Mhm.
I can tell you that the majority of people that I know, if I put them to watch this movie, they might be weirded out and be like, what the hell am I watching? But I bet you they'll enjoy it. And that's super hard to accomplish when you have a super ambitious plot. So for that reason, the fact that this is a favorite amongst like really ambitious and strange films, this has to win.
Bro, it won PGA, it won DGA, it won SAG, it won the Globes. The only place I didn't win was at the Cinematography Guild and BAFTAs.
Yeah,
it won everywhere.
Yeah, I expected to win.
No, we expected to win too, but it's.
Do I want it to win? Yes.
The reason why I'm saying this is because, like Charlie said and Abe said, this is something beautiful to see because we're seeing these two guys who wrote an original story, an original script, and it's getting honored. And it's something, it's what we want in Hollywood. We want to see new stories. We want to see new IPs, right? And that's what it is. That's what this is.
Indeed.
That's literally what Everything Everywhere All at Once is. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, I tell everyone, just embrace it.
Go watch
literally
it. It's fun.
Embrace it.
It's a fun movie to watch.
Oh my gosh. I tell people, some people are like, oh, I couldn't get through it. I'm like, yeah, because you're not embracing the weirdness.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
I think I talked to Davi and Anna about this. Like, the movies that I love are the movies that commit. Like, whatever the hell you're doing, just commit to it, and I will like that movie. I promise you. Like, more times than not, I will like that movie if you're just committed to what's happening. And if you can put yourself in those shoes, then I think that you'll enjoy this movie. I was just laughing to myself because I was remembering Charlie talking about Everything Everywhere and being like, better than any reboot, sequel, whatever. And then he picks Top Gun Maverick.
No, we gotta make that a meme. We gotta make that a meme.
He just straight up contradicted himself.
We gotta make that a meme.
It's fine. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Part of it is because
nostalgia.
Part of it is because I actually forgot that movie was on the list, and then the other part is I just do really like Top Gun, and I think it should win. Because here's the thing. Okay, it follows a formula, but when is it that you give an award to a movie that follows a formula, like a very simple formula that's for general audiences?
Return of the King.
That was the last time. What is that? 2003?
Nah, there was for nomination wise or one.
Win.
No, give the award. They win.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, but like Return of the King was.
I get it.
But the reason, but also,
but that was revolutionary.
Yeah, it
Return
was
of the King
revolutionary.
was revolutionary for the time.
And it's a trilogy.
I feel like
it's playing off of itself.
I see this as revolutionary because it's one of the movies that's not Marvel that's keeping movie theaters alive after the pandemic.
Oh yeah. So what I think, this was Top Gun Maverick was a popcorn movie, but also a film.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, it's very hard to bring those two type of audiences into the theaters into one movie.
Right.
And that's what Top Gun did, right? Because there's people who love films but don't love popcorn movies, right? But Top Gun was both. It was a popcorn movie and a film.
Yeah.
I think I'd say Everything Everywhere is also both.
Both, yeah. When you can do that, it's
I think the difference between these two films is like Top Gun was like a necessary thing that cinemas needed, and for that it deserves all the credit that it's getting.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with Everything Everywhere All at Once,
you can't
shy away Hollywood.
There's nothing you can put up against this movie that's comparable. There's no film. There's not a single film that you can think of that's like, oh, this is kind of like Everything Everywhere. There's not a single one.
Yeah, I can't.
And that's crazy.
If you guys know.
If you guys can tell me, I'm sure there's like a Japanese or like some like foreign film.
Well, I'm not
like
gonna lie.
RRR.
When
RRR was wild. I ain't gonna. RRR was crazy, and which something I was not expecting. I was expecting it to get
be on Best Picture.
Be on Best Picture.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't.
Yeah.
It did not get it.
Yeah.
You know what movie I did think of at first though when I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once was Click, just like because of the whole concept of like rewinding and going somewhere else or whatever. But it's still very different than Click.
Oh yeah,
that's the only similarity.
It is very different. But y'all, we are excited for the 95th Academy Awards. But we're gonna do it differently this year. So we're gonna be covering the season finale of The Last of Us, and we'll be doing a live stream discussion. So after you watch the episode, head over to our YouTube channel and we'll have a live discussion, a post analysis of the episode. Right,
Indeed.
guys?
Indeed.
Yeah. Post episode analysis.
Cameras right
Post
there. by the way.
episode analysis.
Look at them over there.
Oh my gosh.
You're
Sorry.
chilling.
So, you know what's happening? There's a monitor right here, and I keep looking at the monitor, and I don't look at the
Davi
camera.
likes to look at himself in the mirror. That's why he's staring right there.
Ew.
You
Trying to
guys
check
are
if the
right
curls are
there.
in place.
This is our audience right here. I
Guess
got
what,
you.
audience? I'm not gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at myself.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna strictly look here.
I'm
But,
playing around.
But y'all, we appreciate you guys listening. Like this video, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. Also, if you're listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, also follow us. We love you guys. See you soon.
Deuces.
Peace.
Thank you.